The storm had rolled in from the Puget Sound like a bad omen, turning the quiet neighborhood into a watercolor blur of gray skies and slick streets. Luke had been crashing at his best friend Alex's place for the weekend, escaping the suffocating silence of his own apartment after a brutal breakup with some guy who'd ghosted him after 3 months. Alex, ever the loyal buddy since high school, had insisted on a guy's night, beer, video games, and zero drama. But then Ryan showed up. Ryan was Alex's older brother, the one who'd always been a distant figure in Luke's life. The ex-Marine turned software engineer, with that effortless charisma that made rooms feel smaller. At 28, he was 5 years older than Luke and Alex, built like he could bench press a truck, with tattoos peeking from under his sleeves and a smile that could disarm anyone. Luke had crushed on him secretly for years, back when they were teens and Ryan would ruffle his hair like a kid brother. But that was ancient history, or so Luke thought. It started innocently enough. Alex passed out early on the couch after too many IPAs, leaving Luke and Ryan alone in the kitchen, the rain drumming a steady rhythm outside. They talked about everything and nothing. Ryan's deployments in Afghanistan, Luke's dead-end job at a coffee shop while he figured out his graphic design dreams. The conversation flowed like whiskey, warm and easy, until Ryan leaned in closer, his knee brushing Luke's under the table. "You know, you don't have to crash on the couch," Ryan said, his voice low, eyes locking onto Luke's with an intensity that sent a shiver down his spine. "My room's got space. Stay over with me." Luke's heart stuttered. Was this a joke? Ryan had always been straight, or at least that's what everyone assumed. Married once, divorced young, no kids. But the way he said it, the heat in his gaze, it wasn't brotherly. Luke mumbled something about not wanting to impose, but Ryan's hand on his arm sealed it. "Come on, man. It's just us." They ended up in Ryan's room upstairs, the one with the Navy memorabilia on the walls and a queen bed that suddenly felt too small. Luke lay there in the dark, hyper-aware of Ryan's breathing beside him, the scent of his cologne mixing with the storm's ozone. Then, without warning, Ryan rolled over, his hand finding Luke's chest. "I've wanted this for a long time," he whispered, and before Luke could process, their lips met in a kiss that was all fire and desperation. It was electric, forbidden, everything Luke had fantasized about but never dared voice. Ryan's hands were rough, calloused from years of service, but tender as they explored Luke's body. They moved together in the shadows, whispers turning to moans, the rain masking their secret. By morning, Luke woke tangled in sheets, Ryan's arm draped over him like a promise. But as the sun filtered through the curtains, reality crashed in. Alex was downstairs, oblivious, and Ryan, he pulled away, eyes clouded with regret. "This can't happen again," he said, voice cracking. "Alex would kill me. Hell, my whole family would." Luke felt the first sting of rejection, but he nodded, pretending it didn't gut him. They acted normal through breakfast, but the air was thick with unspoken tension. Luke left that day, promising himself it was a one-off, a drunken mistake. Yet, as he drove home, his phone buzzed with a text from Ryan. "Miss you already. Come back soon." Weeks blurred into stolen moments. Ryan would text late at night, inviting Luke over when Alex was out. They'd meet in hidden spots, a dive bar in Tacoma, a hike in the Olympics where no one knew them. Each time, the passion deepened, conversations turning intimate. Ryan opened up about his failed marriage, how he'd suppressed his attraction to men during his military days, fearing discharge or worse. "You're the first guy I've let in," he confessed one night, holding Luke under the stars. "You make me feel alive again." Luke fell hard, his world revolving around Ryan's calls, his touch. He ignored the red flags. Ryan's insistence on secrecy, the way he'd tense up if Alex mentioned hanging out. "We're just figuring this out," Ryan would say, kissing away Luke's doubts. But doubt crept in like fog off the sound. Luke wanted more, dates in public, introductions as boyfriends. Ryan hesitated, citing his conservative family, his job at a tech firm where being out might complicate things. The turning point came at a family barbecue. Alex had invited Luke, and Ryan was there, grilling burgers like nothing was amiss. But under the table, their feet touched, a silent thrill. Later, in the garage, Ryan pulled Luke into a heated kiss. "God, I can't stop thinking about you," he murmured. Luke's heart soared until Alex walked in. "What the hell?" Alex's face twisted in shock, betrayal flashing in his eyes. My brother? Seriously, Luke? Chaos erupted. Alex stormed out, yelling about trust and boundaries. Ryan denied it at first, then admitted, "It's not what you think." But it was. The family gathered, whispers turning to arguments. Ryan's parents, staunch Republicans from the heartland, were horrified. "This isn't you, son," his dad said, voice laced with disappointment. Ryan stood there, silent, not defending them, not fighting for Luke. That night, Luke waited for Ryan's call. Came, but not with apologies. "We have to end this," Ryan said, his voice hollow. "It's tearing everything apart." Luke begged, tears streaming, but Ryan hung up. The betrayal hit like a freight train, Ryan choosing family over love, over him. Luke spiraled, drowning in whiskey at his apartment, ignoring Alex's angry texts. Days turned to weeks, the pain a constant ache. He quit his job, started freelancing designs that screamed heartbreak. Shattered hearts in pixel art, lovers parting in digital rain. But then, a knock at his door. Ryan, soaked from the storm, eyes red-rimmed. "I can't do this without you," he said, pulling Luke into an embrace. "I told them everything. Screw the consequences." Luke stood frozen in the doorway, rain dripping from Ryan's jacket onto the worn hardwood floor of his cramped Seattle studio. The man who'd shattered his world was here, looking like a ghost of himself. Bags under his eyes, stubble shadowing his jaw. "What do you mean, you told them?" Luke asked, his voice barely above a whisper, afraid to hope. Ryan stepped inside, closing the door against the howling wind. "Everything. About us. About me being bi or gay or whatever label fits, I don't care anymore." Alex flipped out, "But he's coming around. My parents. They're struggling. But I laid it out. Lose me or accept this." He reached for Luke's hand, fingers trembling. "I was a coward, Luke. I betrayed you, and I'm sorry. But I'm here now, fighting for us." The kiss that followed was different. Raw, honest, stripped of secrets. They tumbled onto the couch, clothes shedding like old skins, bodies reconnecting with the urgency born of loss. Afterward, lying in each other's arms, Ryan traced patterns on Luke's back. "I love you," he said, the words hanging heavy in the air. Luke's heart clenched. He'd waited so long to hear them. But love wasn't a magic fix. The next days were a whirlwind of reconciliation. Alex showed up at Luke's door, beer in hand. "I'm pissed, man. You should have told me." They talked for hours, Alex admitting his shock stemmed from feeling left out, not discussed. "If you're happy, I'm good. Just no details. Okay?" Laughter broke the tension, mending their friendship one awkward joke at a time. Ryan's family was harder. A tense dinner at their house, where his mom served pot roast with forced smiles, his dad grumbling about modern times. But Ryan held Luke's hand under the table, a quiet defiance. "This is who I am," Ryan said when the questions came. Luke watched in awe as the man he'd loved from afar became a pillar of strength. Life settled into a rhythm. They moved in together, a cozy apartment in Capitol Hill, Seattle's vibrant gay neighborhood. Mornings were coffee and kisses, evenings walks along the waterfront, hands intertwined without fear. Ryan came out at work, surprising everyone with his poise. Turns out no one cared. He laughed one night over takeout Thai. Luke's designs took off, landing him gigs with local firms, his art infused with the colors of their love. Yet shadows lingered. Ryan's ex-wife, Sarah, resurfaced via email, demanding closure on old assets. "She's bitter," Ryan explained, but Luke sensed unease. Then, one evening, Luke found Ryan on the balcony, phone in hand, voice hushed. "Sarah, I can't." "No, that's over." Luke's stomach dropped. Was this another betrayal? Confrontation came swift. "What's going on?" Luke demanded. Ryan sighed, showing the texts. Sarah wanting reconciliation, admitting she'd known about his attractions but ignored them. "I told her no," Ryan said. "But it made me realize I hurt people before you. I won't do it again." They argued, voices rising, Luke's fears of being second choice spilling out. Ryan pulled him close. "You're my choice, every day." The conflict deepened when Sarah showed up unannounced, tears in her eyes. I miss you, Ryan. Luke watched from the kitchen, heart pounding. Ryan was firm. I'm with Luke now. Happy. Please, let this go. She left, but the encounter unearthed old wounds. Luke questioned everything. Was Ryan truly over his past? Highs and lows intertwined. A romantic getaway to the San Juan Islands, where they kayaked under sunny skies, making love in a seaside cabin. Marry me? Ryan blurted one sunset, ring in hand. Luke said yes, tears mixing with laughter. But back home, Alex confided worries. Ryan's always been restless. Make sure he's all in. Doubt festered. Luke noticed Ryan's late nights at work, excuses stacking up. One night, checking Ryan's phone, a habit born of insecurity, he found messages from an unknown number. Flirty, suggestive. Meet me at the bar? Heart-shattering, Luke confronted Ryan at dawn. Who is he? Ryan's face paled. It's not what you think. He's a guy from my support group, vets dealing with identity stuff. I was helping him, but yeah, it got flirty. I shut it down. Luke didn't buy it fully. The messages hinted at more. You promised no more secrets, he yelled. Ryan begged forgiveness, but Luke stormed out, crashing at Alex's. The separation was agony. Days of radio silence, Luke burying himself in work, sketching broken hearts that mirrored his own. Alex mediated. He messed up, but he loves you. Talk to him. Luke relented, meeting Ryan at their favorite coffee shop. Ryan looked wrecked, eyes pleading. I screwed up. Therapy's helping. I realize I self-sabotage because I'm scared of happiness. But I want this, us. They rebuilt slowly, couples counseling bridging the gaps. Ryan opened up about PTSD from his tours, how it fueled his fears. Luke shared his own insecurities, abandonment from an absent father. Vulnerability forged stronger bonds, their love deepening into something resilient. Months later, at their wedding, a small affair on a Puget Sound beach, vows echoed with hard-won truth. I choose you, flaws and all, Luke said. Ryan's reply, you're my anchor in the storm. The honeymoon in Hawaii was paradise. Sun-kissed beaches, luau's under starry skies, bodies entwined in ocean view suites. Luke and Ryan returned bronzed and blissful, settling into married life with the ease of two souls aligned. But America being America, external storms brewed. It was 2024, election year, tensions high, with anti-LGBT bills popping up in states. Ripples felt even in progressive Washington. Ryan's job at the tech firm hit a snag. A conservative client balked at his lifestyle, threatening to pull contracts. Screw them, Luke said, but Ryan worried about layoffs. Stress mounted, manifesting in arguments over small things. Dishes, finances. One night, it exploded. You're pulling away again, Luke accused. Ryan snapped back. I'm trying to provide for us. Beneath it, deeper fears. Ryan's PTSD flared, nightmares of sand and gunfire waking him sweat-soaked. Luke held him through it, but exhaustion wore thin. Then, the ultimate test. Alex's accident. A car crash on I-5, drunk driver. Alex in ICU, family rallying. At the hospital, tensions resurfaced. Ryan's parents, still uneasy with their marriage, made snide remarks. If you'd stayed with Sarah, his mom muttered. Luke bit his tongue, focusing on Alex, who pulled through after surgery. But the strain showed. Ryan withdrew, spending nights at the hospital alone. Luke felt the distance growing, echoes of past betrayals. Are we okay? He asked one evening. Ryan nodded, but his eyes said otherwise. Then, the bomb. Luke discovered Ryan had been texting Sarah again. Just support during Alex's thing, Ryan claimed. But messages revealed emotional intimacy. Shared memories, regrets. Betrayal cut deep. How could you? Luke sobbed. Ryan broke down. I'm lost, Luke. The accident reminded me of mortality, my past mistakes. They separated temporarily, Luke moving back to his old studio, heart in pieces. Weeks of therapy, individual and joint. Ryan confronted his patterns, using exes as crutches, fearing true commitment. Luke examined his trust issues, rooted in childhood neglect. Slowly, they bridged the chasm. Ryan cut contact with Sarah, recommitted fully. Reconciliation came on a rainy hike, mirroring their early days. I can't lose you, Ryan said, kneeling in mud. Let's renew our vows. Start fresh. Luke agreed, love prevailing over pain. Life stabilized. Alex recovered, becoming an uncle figure when they adopted a rescue dog, Buster. Ryan switched jobs to an inclusive startup, thriving. Luke's art gallery show sold out, themes of redemption drawing crowds. But fate twisted again. A health scare, Ryan's routine checkup revealed a lump. Biopsy cancer stage 2. The world tilted. We'll fight this, Luke vowed, holding Ryan through chemo sessions, bald head and all. The battle was grueling. Nausea, fatigue, hospital stays. Luke juggled work, caregiving, his own fears. Friends rallied. Alex cooking meals, neighbors walking Buster. Ryan's parents softened, seeing Luke's devotion. Your family, his dad admitted a breakthrough. Through it, their bond deepened. Intimate moments amid chaos. Reading poetry in waiting rooms, slow dances in the kitchen. You saved me, Ryan whispered post-surgery, tumor removed. Recovery was slow, but triumphant. Clean scans brought tears of joy. They emerged stronger, love tempered by fire. In quieter times, they volunteered at LGBT youth centers, sharing their story. Love wins, but it takes work, Luke told a teen group. Ryan nodded, arm around him. As years passed, they bought a house in the suburbs, planted a garden. Evenings on the porch, watching sunsets, hands clasped. Conflicts arose, life's inevitabilities, but they faced them together. No more betrayals. One crisp autumn evening, years after the chaos, Luke and Ryan sat on their porch swing, Buster dozing at their feet. The neighborhood kids played football in the street, laughter echoing like a soundtrack to their hard-earned peace. Ryan, hair grown back silver-streaked, squeezed Luke's hand. Remember that first night? When I asked you to stay over? Luke chuckled, leaning into him. How could I forget? You changed everything. Their journey had been a tapestry of highs and lows, woven with threads of passion, pain, and perseverance. The early betrayals, Ryan's hesitations, the flirty texts, the emotional slips, had scarred but ultimately strengthened them. Each conflict taught resilience, each reconciliation deepened trust. Alex, now married with kids, visited often. You two are my role models, he'd say, toasting at barbecues. Ryan's parents had come full circle, attending pride parades, embracing their son's life. We were wrong, his mom confessed one holiday. Love is love. Professionally, they flourished. Luke's graphic novels on queer experiences hit bestsellers, inspiring youth. Ryan mentored vets at support groups, advocating for mental health. Together, they fostered a teen runaway, Jake, guiding him through coming out. You showed me it's okay to be me, Jake said before college. But life wasn't without shadows. Another health dip for Ryan, remission held, but vigilance remained. Luke's art sometimes dredged old pains, leading to therapy tune-ups. Yet these were navigable, their foundation solid. The climax of their story came unexpectedly. A letter from Sarah. I'm happy for you. Found my peace. Closure, finally. Then, a national spotlight, Luke's book adapted into a film. Their tale fictionalized but true in spirit. Interviews poured in. How did you overcome betrayal? Luke answered, forgiveness, communication, and choosing each other daily. Ryan added, love isn't perfect. It's human. Their anniversary trip to New York, Broadway shows, Central Park strolls reignited sparks. In a quiet hotel room, they made love slowly, savoring every touch. I'd do it all again, Ryan murmured. Back home, a surprise. Adoption papers. Let's make a family, Luke proposed. Ryan's eyes welled. Yes. The process was arduous, home studies, waits, but rewarding. They welcomed Mia, a spirited 5-year-old from foster care. Her giggles filled the house, Buster her loyal sidekick. Parenting tested them. Sleepless nights, tantrums. But watching Mia thrive, they found new purpose. Conflicts arose. Mia's bio-family drama, school bullies. But they tackled them united. We're in this together, became their mantra. As Mia grew, so did their legacy. She came out as bi in her teens, supported fully. "Thanks to you dads," she said at her graduation. In twilight years, health waned. Ryan's cancer returned, aggressive. Luke nursed him at home, holding hands through final days. "No regrets," Ryan whispered. "You were my everything." Ryan passed peacefully, surrounded by family. Grief consumed Luke, but memories sustained him. He wrote a memoir, Storms and Anchors, donating proceeds to LGBT causes. Mia took over, caring for Luke in his frailty. "Dad would be proud," she said. Luke's last days were reflective. On his deathbed, visions of Ryan. That first kiss, vows, sunsets. "See you soon," he murmured. Their story ended not in tragedy, but humanity. Love's triumph over flaws. A beacon for others. In Seattle's rain, their legacy endured. Two men who dared to love fiercely, changing everything.